Carl A. P. Ruck is professor of classics at Boston University. He is an expert on ancient Greek language and literature and an authority on the ecstatic rituals of the god Dionysus. Working with ethnomycologist Gordon Wasson and chemist Albert Hoffman, Ruck identified the secret psychoactive ingredient in the kykeon, the visionary potion drunk by the initiates at the Eleusinian mysteries in ancient Greece. These mystery initiations were practiced annually at Eleusis, located some 11 miles northwest of Athens, for nearly 2,000 years, from about 1500 BC until 380 AD, when Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire, after which Eleusis was condemned and destroyed as a place of pagan worship. In Persephone's quest and Theogens and the Origins of Religion, Ruck proclaimed the centrality of psychoactive sacraments at the very beginnings of religion, proposing the term entheogen, meaning God generated within, to free the topic from the pejorative connotations of words like drug or hallucinogen. Professor Ruck's numerous publications include The Apples of Apollo, Pagan and Christian Mysteries of the Eucharist, The Road to Eleusis, Unraveling the Secret of the Mysteries, Sacred Mushrooms of the Goddess, Secrets of Eleusis, Mushrooms, Myth, and Mithras, the drug cult that civilized Europe, and The Effluence of Deity, Alchemy, and Psychoactive Sacraments in Medieval and Renaissance art. It's worth noting that Professor Ruck's career suffered tremendously due to the publication of The Road to Eleusis in 1978. The book came out in the decade of the war on drugs and President Nixon's condemnation of Timothy Leary as the, quote, most dangerous man in America. Ruck co-authored The Road to Eleusis with two giants in the field of psychedelics, R. Gordon Wasson, who founded the modern study of ethnomycology, how cultures use mushrooms, and Albert Hoffman, who discovered LSD at Sandoz Labs in Switzerland. While Wasson was independently wealthy, having served as a J.P. Morgan banker for many years, and Hoffman was world famous for his synthesis of LSD, Ruck was not so fortunate. The president of Boston University was a staunch conservative who thought that Leary was insane and who argued that the ancient Greeks, the founders of Western civilization, simply would not do mind-altering drugs. After the publication of The Road to Eleusis, the president of Boston University sent Ruck into academic exile. While Ruck had tenure and could not be fired, he was removed as chair of the classics department. He was prohibited from teaching graduate students. PhD students were warned that if they placed Ruck on their dissertation committee, they might not find academic employment, and scholars in other departments were told not to collaborate with him in interdisciplinary research projects. Despite these sanctions, over the past 4 decades, Ruck has continued to research and publish some of the most distinguished and erudite scholarly studies exploring the role of psychedelics in religion among the ancient Greeks and early Christians. Recently, the publication in 2020 of The Immortality Key, The Secret History of the Religion with No Name by Brian Mararescu has vindicated Ruck's initial findings on Eleusis by scientifically documenting for the first time through the new technologies of archaeological chemistry the presence of psychoactive ergot at the sanctuary of Demeter in an ancient Greek colony in Spain dating back to the 2nd century BC. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Classics Professor Carl A. P. Ruck.